In this video, we will be discussing about generics, right? This is one of the advanced concept of TypeScript, or what I can say, it is one of the best concept in TypeScript that makes it stand out, right? So I would say you don't know TypeScript if you don't know generics, or you're not writing TypeScript if you're not writing generics, or you're not a good TypeScript programmer if you're not well versed with generics. So generics, right? So by the name itself, it is saying that something is generic. So in any software programming language, you're not a good programmer or you're not a good engineer if you're not reusing a piece of code, or you're not writing a software which is reusable. So we'll understand more about reusability, but in a simple point, I shouldn't write a code which only works today and which won't work tomorrow or maybe down the line 1 or 2 years. So when I say this, when I say that I have my code shouldn't be working only today but also for next generations or next future, what it means is that you should develop a software program which works on today, how the data is going to be coming to your software, or how the data is being generated from your software. At the same time, you have your software should also be able to cater. I'm not saying 100% you should write, but you should foresee how your data is gonna change, because see, in this current system, the data which you are going to deal with is gonna change continuously, because that's what internet is. It gives you a lot of data. You can collect a lot of data. You can play around with a lot of data. So, or whatever software, as a backend programmer or any software programmer, it's ultimately you are going to generate some data in whatsoever form. Like if it is an Android app, you allow user to navigate so that he places order. Order is a data. If it's a ticket booking app, you allow user to navigate and you make him do a booking so that he will give the payment details, he will give the orders, he will give you his interest, and if it is Netflix, they will collect the data from you. What interests you, what movie are you watching, where you are pausing, why are you pausing. In YouTube, all of this, and in YouTube mainly, you can see all the advertisements are more likely what you are generally discussing. So I'm not saying Google is stealing your data, but yeah, somehow they are getting the data, so that with that kind of data, you are generating an ad system which interests you. So if I am a 100-year-old, 90-year-old person, and if YouTube is showing me Nike running ads, why will I see? Why will it excite me? I'll just close it down, right? In that fashion, if you see ads or movies or recommendations, or in the Amazon, you'll say frequently brought together, all of these only function, or all of these can only make more business when your data collection is very very efficient. So now if I say my software is going to work only to collect this amount of data, and I won't design, my software is not capable of collecting other types of data, then it's a break. Then again you have to make a new release, or we have to release a new version to collect the next type of data, right? So this type of softwares are not good. So how does software should evolve, or how should it be founded, or what is the foundation of such systems, right? It all deals with generics. So it always said that a beginner uh, doesn't care about generics, but as an expert, you have, or you live with generics. Once you understand the concept of generics, it's not that simple, because it is a thought process, not just learning. You have to know where you have to use generics very well, or in general, what is a general programming, how can you reuse certain concept, right? In that case, generics are very very useful. So this is the whole background of generics. Now let's get into the generics. What are the different generics we have, or what exactly generics is in TypeScript, right? So let me create a new file, generics.ts, right? So in this video, we will discuss about a lot of things. First, introduction to generics. Then we'll discuss about key of operator, then type of operator, then we'll discuss about mapped keys, then we'll discuss about generics. Let me put down the order correct. Generics and indexed types, right? Then we'll discuss about conditional types. Then we will discuss about conditional types, mapped types, string literals, right? So let me add if I miss anything by going forward, right? So yes, these are the concepts which are totally linked with generics, or which help you write a good generic code, right? So now what are all of this? So first thing, the introduction is that in TypeScript, or TypeScript allows you to write or generate types from existing types. So in TypeScript, or TypeScript allows you to write or generate types from existing types. So this is all type, right? So what it is saying is, you define some set of types, and using those types, you can write a logical code, or you can write a code which generates the futuristic types, right? So I'll show you with all examples. First, we need to understand few basic things, right? You can't directly race in a bike racing. You have to learn how to ride a bike, and before even learning a bike, you have to know how to balance a two-wheeler. So in such a fashion, you have to understand few concepts to actually get in and play around with the generics, right? So first, let's discuss about key of operator. Key of operator. So this is a default or inbuilt operator in TypeScript, right? So let's say there is a type point is equal to x string, y string. Okay, so I'll define another type, x type, which I can say what I can say, a cube, right? X number, or I can say width number, and then I have height number, and then I have length number. Yeah, now when I do type key is equal to key of point, so I can do this. So type key, or type some new type, is equal to key of point. Now what is some new points type? So what it is? Now what I am doing from technically, this is a type which I am generating from another type. So see, point is also a type, some new type is also a type. So I'm sticking to my point. In TypeScript, or TypeScript allows you to write or generate types from existing types, right? So point is a type, and I'm generating some new type using some operator. Now key of point, what does it do? So some new type, the key of point, what it does is basically, now if I check the type of, or when I define the type of, when I see the type of new type, right, it is going to be constant x some new type is equal to boolean. Now what I try to do is I try to assign a boolean value to x which is of type some new type, right? So if I see here, the true is not assignable to type key of point. So obviously it means that type of x is not boolean, but it is something else. What it is? If I assign a array, will this work? No. Then what it is? So basically it is not even a string, right? So basically it is x10 y110. This is also is not assignable to the point of t, is not assignable to type y, right? So if I do this now, this is also not possible. Now what is type? What is key of operator, right? Any guesses? So basically the key of what it does is it picks out or it plucks both of the keys and it kind of creates a union of it. Okay, so now let me show it what exactly something is gonna be when it is of type some new type or key of point. So it can now take only two values, that is x or y. Only these two values are accepted. That is key of operator. So first let's understand what is key of point of doing actually. So it is unioning, or it is union of the type of the keys what they are present. So basically key of does what it does is x slash union. So both of this and some other new type is equal to key of point. Both of these two are equal. So it means the data can accept either of these two values, right? Now when you do about this cube, right? Cube. Now what will be the answer? Key of point. Now some other new type can take those values which are the keys, width, height and length. Okay, width can be accepted, height can be accepted, length can be accepted. So why do I need this, right? Why can't I simply write x slash union so that that can be only of that type, or it can store only those values, right? Right now you see only 2 or 3 properties, but what if your data has hundreds of properties, and inside those hundreds of properties any key can be assigned to the new type? In that cases key of operator becomes very useful. There is other type as well which we have seen, like type point is equal to, or let me rewrite the same one, type point is equal to x number or number, right? Now x can be any x can be any number, right? Now when I do type new point is equal to key of point, right? Now the type of new point is number because here x can be any number. Okay, so let me explain again. Now what is the key of point? Key of point is of the type what the key is. Key is the type number. So hence new point is number. And there is one case where your key of point is a indexed signature where X is of type string, then new point can be string, string or number. So if you see the other day, where is that? Yeah, I missed it, I guess. It's fine. So basically, when it is of type string, new point becomes string/string union number, because in JavaScript by default all strings, or I mean to say, when you access an array, like this, array of 0 or array of 0, both are same. So automatically numbers are coerced to, or numbers are typecasted to string. Hence, when you define string, it can't differentiate it is after typecasting or before typecasting. Hence, new point becomes both string or number. But when you define it as number, the key of point will return only number, right? So this is one thing which you need to remember. It means if on the left side in a key in a JavaScript, if on the left side it is a string or number, it doesn't really matter to JavaScript or TypeScript. It treats them as string, or if it is a string, it can be a number also. So both number and string on the left side of the key or as a key is really same. Okay, now what can be the use case of key of, right? Knowing that is very important, because if you just learn and leave it, then it's no point. So the type or the use case of key of we'll be looking at, or this is really useful when you are defining your generics or when you're working on the generics, right? Now let's go to our next topic, that is type of operator, right? So type of operator basically gives us the type with what we are dealing, right? So it is restricted kind of to the primitive types, that is it can only identify string or number or boolean or anything of that sort. But type of can be really useful in few of the cases, like let's say right now if I do type of some string, right? This will be, so type of name, this will be string, and type of number, this will be number, because sometimes you don't know what type you are coming here, what type it is coming from the backend, and maybe if to not break your system, let's say there is some data where it comes first time like this, mobile number as this, with the country code when it is being sent, it is passed as a string. And in some cases, so as I said, you have to deal with a data which can be anything. I mean, not literally anything, but this is meaningful, right? People can send, whoever are hitting your API, they can send it with +91 or with the plus country code. In that cases, it can be a string. But if they are not sending, they can send like this as well as a number. So to deal with both of these cases, and right now if you see, if I write data is equal to mobile and with +91, it's going to look like something like this, and the other data is equal to mobile 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. So in these cases, if both of these data is coming from some backend, how do you deal? You cannot write data dot mobile dot replace directly, because one time it is string, this is present Sometimes it is present as string, sometimes it is present as number, but replace only exists on strings, right? In such cases, what you do is type of data.mobile. Type of data.mobile. If this is string, then only do that operation. And if type of data.mobile is not string, then don't replace. So basically what I am trying to say is, in your database you are storing only the number, not without the country code. Then what you will do is you will replace +91 with empty, so that every time you get the same number. So there will be a lot of such cases when you are actually working on it. So type of operator really is going to be helpful to you. And also there is other use case of type of, wherein you can find the return type of a function. Let me show you how you can do that. So there is a special operator in TypeScript which is called as return type, right? So there is a return type operator which gives us the return type of a function, right? So sometimes you are dependent not directly on the type, but on a function whose whatever type it's going to return, right? So you're deriving your type, your current type, from the return type of some function, right? Like this, type sum is equal to a number comma b number, and this is going to return number, right? So in this case, if I do type answer equal to return type of sum, so what it is doing is return type. So whatever the return type of this function, which is number, that is being assigned over here. So if I say some other value greater or greater than, right? So if a is greater than or b, in that cases it will return a boolean to me. So what I can do is, if I define a type over like this, then my answer is going to be boolean, because the return type of greater than function is boolean. So it is not looking much, it is not looking much help over here, because when you have already the defined types, then why to do all of these, right? So this will be really useful in these cases when you have a function. If check if number is greater or check if number is positive, there is a function like this, right? So this is going to return me boolean, and it is going to take one argument that is of type number, and it returns if arg is greater than 0, then it returns true, otherwise it is going to return false, right? In these cases, the type of operator, the type of positivity is equal to, oh shit, it's not type of, it's type positivity is equal to return type of check if number is positive. But when I do this, so basically what I'm trying to do is, whatever the check if number is positive or not, based on that, so even if I don't infer it over here, so what it is, so but first of all, it is throwing an error. It is saying check if number refers to a value, but it is being used as type here. So return type only takes inside those angular brackets the type, but here check if number is positive is a value. It is storing the function definition, right? So what it is doing is, it is asking return type only takes types but not values, so please give me the type. Now type of check if number is positive, and that return type is now being assigned to positivity, which is a boolean, which we haven't defined. So there will be some functions which cannot be determined, or which cannot say which way, where we haven't written our return types. In that cases, TypeScript automatically infers the code, it understands the code, and it derives the type of this number to be Boolean. So in the same way, if I do something like this, return x 10 and y number 20. Now the positivity return type or the type of positivity is x number and y string. So here I have derived my type from the return type of a function. So again, sticking to my point, you can generate new types from the existing types by using TypeScript. And here we have used return type and type of operators. Both of these are going to be really helpful when you're working. So what is the reusability here is that, so now you don't have to define the type again and again. And so let's say the output of this function is being passed to another function, right? So let's say get arguments, and this is taking nothing. And here or get data of user, right? Here I'll say use username Vasudev and age 100 and place Hyderabad. Now technically I have to define the return type of this, and I have to, if I am passing this data to some other function process data, or maybe I have to store this data in DB, right? In this case, data is going to be directly the return type of get data user. So see, now whatever the get data user is going to return, I am going to get the same data type over here, and I can store it in my DB. So on a long scale, when you are using such type of connectivity, your code is never going to break, right? That is very, very useful in TypeScript, right? This is the use case of both return type and type of. It's going to be really, really useful to you while you're working on TypeScript, right? The next thing is indexed types. Let's see and understand what is indexed types, right? Next, we'll be looking at indexed types, right? Or they are also called as index accessing types, right? So these are some special types wherein you can derive the type from the existing type using or inferring the types. Okay, so maybe by giving an example you will understand. So let's say now I want like this, type mobile with country code. Okay, mobile with country code. Here mobile is of type string and type mobile, then mobile is of type number, right? Now what is type of my data, right? So in this case I can use something like this. So mobile with country code and the square brackets and the mobile. Here it derives the type. Of what is mobile. So mobile with country code is of type this, and inside that if I want to access any variables type or if any parameter type, I can do this. This is called as indexed accessing of types. So here data will be of type string, and the same way mobile of mobile, it is going to be of type number. So when your return type is something like this, right? So when your return type can be any of these, then to know the type in advance of what mobile is, or you have to define the type in advance. So here the mobile can be of this type. So to identify in current request what the data is coming to be, then I can use this, right? And also let's say something of this sort, right? Type mobile is equal to, right? Type mobile is equal to key of, or it can be union of string slash number. Now I can use that one as well. Person, one second. So if I do this string or array, right? Not this way. So let me take another example, right? So type person is equal to name string, is he alive or not, or is he male or not, right? Boolean, and is he married or not, Boolean, single or married, whatever it is, single, right? Then you have age as number. So person, I think it is somewhere else declared what it is saying, duplicate identifier, person type, let me write it down this way, right? Type person type. Now my person data is key of person type, right? Now person data can hold name, male, single, age. So you might be wondering what is the use of key of, right? What is the use of key of? So when you want to filter your data, let's say you are seeing list of all users with all of these properties, name, male, a single, age, all of these properties, and if you want to filter on male, or if you want to filter single, or if you want to filter name, right? So how does the filters should contain, right? So filters can contain only these properties, right? Single, age, something like this, single, age, male, single, and age, right? Constant filters is equal to key of, or I can define it like this. So see, now the type of filters is technically nothing but, obviously when I'm filtering person's data, I have to apply the filters on his name. Like let's say I want to filter all the people in Hyderabad. You see in Flipkart and Amazon that you can get to select age, or you can get to select the type or feature or anything, or screen size or anything. So you design your filters, the type of filters based on the dynamic data, right? This data can come from any site. So let me give you an example. Let's say first you are looking at the products, laptop, right? The perfect use of key of operator, looking at products laptop. Second thing, you are looking at TVs, product page TVs, right? So in both of these cases, the filters which you see are going to change. They are not going to remain same. Now they cannot say the filter of RAM and TV, because nobody is looking at TV, or they cannot show the filter of values 49 inches in a laptop, because laptops are not that big size. So the filters applying or to be applied on laptop or TV depends on the type of data or type of data which those two entities carries, right? Now laptop has a specification of a screen size of 13 inches, RAM, and you have SSD, all of these stuff. Whereas TV has 49 inches, speakers, what is the type of speakers it has, what is the type mount it is having, all of these. So in such cases, what you can do is to get the filters, to get the type of filters, you can use the key of operator. You can use the key of operator and directly you can get the type of filters from the existing data. And by mistake, if somebody tries to add a new filter of like this type, random, then this throws an error. So random is not assignable to the type key of operator. So this is the perfect use case of key of, right? So this can be very good case. And now, now to define another type, constant or type using the index operator, new type is equal to person type of or person data of name slash mail, right? Property name, what it is saying, property mail does not exist on type key of, property name does not exist on type of this person data. Yes. Am I doing something wrong? Let me see. What I'm trying to do is that can be of type any of. Yeah, oh shit, I'm using person data, person type. Person type will have both of these keys, right? It is indexing. So now new type can be either string or boolean. So either you can do this, or if you do key of or directly person data, new type is going to be string, boolean, or 10. Here 10 is basically number. So see, new type can be name, new type is string, boolean, and number, string, number, and boolean, because the right hand side property. So basically key of gets you the left hand side of a type, and indexing types, index accessing type give you right hand side. So when you do this, age comma single, right? So it is giving us the right hand side properties, whereas key of will give you the left hand side properties. That is the difference between key of and indexed accessing types, and you can use it when you want it, right? Now let's see. So these are the different basic types or basic concepts which you need to understand before diving into generics or getting started with generics. So first thing, let me give you a quick overview or quick summary. Key of gets you the left hand side, and the perfect use case of key of is the filters, because filters can only contain the data properties or the values which are present on the data. So that is the key of. Then we have type of property, which actually determines the type of a type during the runtime. As we said, like based on string or number, you can access different types of functions on them. And the return type, so the return type keyword is really useful in determining the return type of a function which has been not defined, and it saves a lot of time instead of defining the data. So whenever whatever the data this is going to return us, it is being stored or can be derived by using the property return type, right? And after that we'll be having we have discussed about indexed access typing, wherein you can access, where you can derive types by accessing it as an index element on an array. So on types, you basically want to derive the properties of different things like mobile and mobile name and whatever it is. So now mobile data can be, and mobile is of type string, and mobile or phone is of type number. Then both of these can be used together so that you can make a union of type. So mobile data can be either of string or number. So indexed access typing is used to derive the data which is on the right hand side, and key of type gives you the left hand side of the data. So now let's dive into generics and understand generics more, right? So yeah, let me pull out all the comments to the top. Yeah, right now generics, right? So a generic is nothing but you define a variable because you want to store different types of data and different values like this. So constant name is equal to Vasudev, right? So here name is a variable, it can store any type of data. Now generic, by in the beginning understanding of generic or understanding generics, you can think that generics are also kind of variables which store the types. So generics are something which store the types in a variable. Okay, yes, so we'll continue in the next video about generics to understand more about generics.